Hello, everyone. This is April Cox with our author work group, the Self-Publishing Made Simple series. And today I have with us a special guest speaker, Kate. Is it Steed or Stead?
It's Stead.
Stead. Kate
Yep.
Stead. So Kate is with us today and is going to talk about the topic of book marketing basics. And Kate is an indie author and publisher who founded Old Mate Media along with her husband. They live in Sydney, Australia, and are focused on bringing author services, books, as well as helping people to navigate the self-publishing process. So we welcome Kate today and look forward to going through the presentation she has. Kate, I'm going to allow you to just talk a little bit about your background and how you came about into this indie author world and publishing world, while I go ahead and pull up your prompts for your presentation.
Sure. Hi everyone, it's great to be here today and talking with you guys and for everyone that's going to watch this later. So I'm Kate Stead, as April said, and I run Old Mate Media with my husband, Chris. He started the company when our oldest son was quite small. He started writing children's stories, telling all the kids stories in the car, basically to keep them quiet. And then we realized that, we had, with his experience and my experience combined, we could definitely turn those into books. So we started by creating digital books, as he has a digital background, and then expanded into print, and then started working with authors. Basically, as we were networking and meeting people, people would ask us for help and say, oh, we can see what you're doing with your books. Can you help us with ours? And we went, oh, well, sure, we can do that as well. So the company kind of expanded. And then once we started working with authors, we realized just how much we both enjoyed it. We're both quite natural educators. We're always both learning and developing ourselves, and we really like to work with others to do that. So now we work with a lot of authors, helping where they need it, from editing to getting illustrations to formatting to converting books and setting their books up on Amazon. And we do coach them as they go through the process. So. I've come from a corporate background, but I much prefer working with indie authors rather than working with large corporations. It's much more rewarding. So that's a bit about me. Today, should I just kick straight into it, April?
Sure. Yeah. If anybody on the line has questions as we move through the presentation, do you want them to just take themselves off of mute and ask their questions as we move forward?
Yeah, definitely. With a small group, you guys have a great opportunity, so just shout out and we can cover questions as we go. That's definitely the best way to do it. So, so today I'm going to talk to you about book marketing, about the basics of bookmarking. So, authors can often feel quite overwhelmed with book marketing because there's so many options, there's so many things. And so if we have a look at this picture, I think this sums up how authors can feel. Like, these are just the immediate things that I could think of in terms of ways that you can market your book. So any one of these things can work for you, but they may not work for you depending on your book and how you implement them. And I think as independent authors, we often feel like the person in the middle. We have so many options and there are so many different things that you can do that it feels overwhelming, and you end up stuck and not really progressing on anything because should I be doing Facebook ads? Oh, I'm not sure. Should I be doing BookBub ads? Maybe I should just go and do some Instagram or work with some influencers. And so you end up doing a little bit on lots of little things, and you perhaps don't really get anywhere. If that resonates, I think that resonates with quite a few people. Sorry, my screen's just having a tanty. So what I want to go through today is just the way that I approach marketing, and the way that I encourage our authors to approach marketing. And it's really about simplifying things and working out a way, so coming up with a plan that will actually work for you, and some goals, and basically making everything much simpler and easier for you to work on. If we can go forward, April one, back one.
There we go.
Right. So the first thing that is really important when you're looking at your book marketing is to come back to your why. And this sounds really, and some of this stuff is going to sound really basic, but I promise if you actually go through it, it will make sense. So most authors have a burning desire when they first write their book to create their book. There is a reason why you've created your book, and a message or a story or something that you want to get out into the world. And that's why you've thrown yourself into this publishing landscape. So to give you an example of that, I have a cookbook. So there is a machine, it's like a super blender. I don't think it's very much used in the States, called the Thermomix. And there's another version of that, which is a cheaper version, called a Bellini. And I have a Bellini, and I loved my Bellini, and I used it all the time. But there were no cookbooks for it at all. There was one really, really badly created PDF that was so hard to use. And all I wanted was to have all my favorite recipes on my phone, so that when I was using my Bellini nearly every night, I could just pull up my phone and look at my recipes. And I thought, well, if I'm thinking that, maybe other people are too. So Chris and I created a cookbook specifically for the Bellini that was specifically designed to work on people's phones and tablets, and just had all the recipes, had 50 recipes that you would use every day. And it sells. And it sells because there are other people like me that needed it. So I created something because there was a need for it, and any marketing that I did for it, any promotion that I did, came back to that. Why did the core reasons why I created the book, and then all the promotion, any keywords, any advertising, any reaching out to influencers, everything that I did was centered around, this is an easy to use cookbook that's created for this machine, and it's sitting there on your phone. So it's easy, it's right there when you need it. So when you come back to the why for why you've written your book, you will find your unique selling point, and you can use that to market your book. So that's the starting point. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Next one. Okay. So once you know why, once you've got this is why my book exists, the next one is who is my reader. And I remember very clearly working with a mentor of mine, and she said, well, who are your books for? And I said, well, they're for parents to buy for their kids. And she said, and I'm like, that's like, every parent will want our book. It's the best book in the world. Everyone is it's for everyone. And she did laugh at me, and this is why we work with mentors, because it's not the book for everyone. And when we get negative reviews that don't get the point of our books, I think it highlights for us that our books aren't for everyone. So it's important to think about who is the person that is best suited for your book. Mm-hmm. and for your series of books or for all of your books. And you may have a few different people that you do. Now, the best way to do this is to actually create a person and think about them, think about their likes and dislikes and the things that they want to do, because then you can find them. So if we go to the next slide, I'm going to talk you through my person. Now, this is a picture of me. When I actually think about our ideal reader, I think about a friend of mine, but I didn't really want to put her photo on a video that was going to end up all over the world. So this is Jennifer. Jennifer is in her late 30s, maybe early 40s. She's educated and she's financially comfortable. There's enough disposable income in her family for her to be able to spend on books and toys and a little bit of travel for the kids. She has multiple children. She's traveled and she's open to new ideas and places in the world. Family time is important to her. Her kids are high energy. They have lots of energy. So the family spends a lot of time outdoors. There's lots of sports, parks, and playtimes. She believes in teaching the kids to learn for themselves. There is more tending to scrape knees than stopping them from riding in case they get hurt. She's aware her childhood was more free range than her kids, so she strives to instill in them a sense of adventure and freedom. She believes in teaching the kids ethics and morals, but wants them to develop their own understanding, so she looks for books and stories that encourage this rather than laying them out blatantly in the story. She has a great sense of humour, and laughter and silliness is always present in her family. She likes stories that allow the whole family to laugh together. Jennifer grew up reading tales of adventure, laughter, and mayhem and brings this to her book hunting. She's always keen for a bargain, but does feel the drive to shop small and buy independent, so is open to books by authors she doesn't know about. So that is Jennifer. So Jennifer is our customer avatar for our children's books. So
how do you come up with an avatar like that? I would love to be able to recite that kind of thing for my customers, but I'm not quite sure how to go about getting all of that information.
Sure. So look, it's about thinking about who, so you start, and this is where it's a bit of a step-by-step process. So when you start with your why, you will have an idea of when so you start with why do you create your book, and when you start with why do you create your book, then you think about the types of people that you might create the book for. And then you sit down and go, okay, so if I was this type of person, what would I be like? And then you I call it word vomit, but I have been doing this sort of stuff for a little while. I'm not going to deny that it's intimidating. It took me ages to get up the gumption, in a way, to specify the type of person that I wanted to read our books, because it felt like I was cutting out the possibility of sales. But you're not. What you're doing is by creating that person, you're creating someone that you talk to. And that means that when you write and when you do social posts and when you do all these things, you'll find yourself much more naturally talking to them because you have a very defined person that you're talking to. Often with businesses, like Jennifer greatly does resemble myself and our family. And often I find that you create books for you and for those people that are close to you. So that makes it a bit easier. Don't hesitate to base it on someone you know that you think will enjoy your books. It can also help to think about the people that won't enjoy your books. So we had a couple of negative reviews from people who said that our books were irresponsible because they encouraged kids to run away and to go to leave where their parents were and go and have these adventures. And we're like, okay, so our books are for people that want that sense of adventure and that perhaps understand that it's all in your imagination. Mm-hmm. So that was something the negative reviews that we had clarified the people that we should be targeting for our books. In terms of if you just do a Google search for create a customer avatar, there's a number of worksheets online. HubSpot has a really good one. And so that it's HUBSPOT. And that, I think you probably have to sign up to their email list to get it, but that is a good one to work through. And I guess the important thing to remember is there's no right or wrong. So you could start with something quite simple, and then you can expand it as you go on. So
Okay.
thinking about your ideal reader is definitely going to help in terms of creating your marketing plan.
So would you recommend that we all do that, go and create our avatar and go through that process early on? Okay.
Yes, definitely. So once you have your ideal reader, now one of the things that I didn't put in mine, which I should have, is where is Jennifer going to shop? So, and this will depend, this will come down a bit to where you want to, you might create where Jennifer's going to shop. So most of us are working on Amazon, so we can focus on Amazon. But yeah, so if you're looking, but once you've created your ideal, so let's say that your ideal reader is a big shopper at local markets, but you've never looked at doing any local markets, then you might have to go, oh, hang on. So the next thing is, can they find me? So once you have your ideal reader, you'll have an idea of where they're going to be, and then you want to make sure you are in those spaces. At a minimum, I think that all authors should have, once your book is on Amazon, you should have an Amazon author page, which has a photo of you and a bio. And if you have a website, you can set it up to automatically put your blog posts from your website on there. So everyone should be able to find you on Amazon. You should have a Goodreads profile. You don't have to be active on there, but you should replicate your Amazon information on Goodreads. You should have a website. And the website doesn't need to be a complicated website. In fact, there are a number of free author website pages that are available through different people. I'm pretty sure Draft to Digital offers one, but there are quite a few. So you can use a free service as a starting point. But you want people to be able to, in the world that we're in, you become more legitimate when you have these things. And then I would suggest picking, would I say a social media channel? I would say pick a social media channel. You can just pick one. But you could just use Goodreads. If you didn't want to do social media, if you weren't into the idea of social media, you could just be active on Goodreads. So you want to make sure that someone can find you and that they can find out more about you if they're interested in you. Because it's disconcerting. I mean, when you think this in many ways, this is about setting yourself up as a business. And I know that when I look at businesses and they have no online presence at all, it worries me now. I don't feel like they are as legitimate as someone that does have even a really basic website. So readers should be able to find you. They should be able to find you on Amazon. They should be able to find you on Goodreads. You should have a contact email that they can get in touch with you, and ideally you should have a website. So once you're visible, which is a good thing to do, can we go to the next one? Then it's about looking at all of the options and thinking about what you actually want to do. So again, we don't want to do all these things. This is a bad thing. Don't do all these things. It won't be good. But there's a lot of things that you can pull from there. You can pick the ones that will work for you. So if we can go down to the next one. So we want to focus. Now, so what you have is you have the reason why you've created your book. You have the ideal person that you want to read your book. You have visibility so they can find you. So then you want to focus in and think about a couple of things that you can do to promote your book and reach those ideal people. So you don't want to do a lot of things. Every single author I know is an author and something else. So we all have multiple things going on in our lives. And when you try and do too many things, then you just get nowhere. So it's about focusing in. So for example, I was talking to an author and she said, I'm just trying to work out whether I want to, she said, the book's going, I've been starting to talk to bookstores and I've been talking to a few media outlets and I've been dabbling on Amazon, but I'm not really getting anywhere. Okay, well that's okay, that's all good. Now, what's your number one thing for the next 6 months or even 3 months? What do you want? Sales? Do you want money? Do you want recognition? Or do you want to be in bookstores? And then let's work on that one thing. Because if you're trying to do all things, as I said, you won't get very far with any of them. And you can do different things to get to that one point. So that comes back to looking at your why. So once you've got your why, you'll know which one you should do first. So then the next, I don't know, I should probably give you a worksheet to work through. I feel like I might be going a bit too fast. Am I, April? You have to tell me.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, good. Okay, so you've got your why, you know why you've created your book, you know who you want to reach, they can find you, and then you're going to focus in on one goal for the next, say, 3 months and go. Let's say my goal for the next 3 months is to really build awareness of my book. Then if that's your goal, you would go, okay, how am I going to build awareness? And you could go back and look at if we just go back to the previous slide, and we could go, okay, so if I'm going to build awareness, then I really want to get some press going. So I am going to create a media kit about my book, and then I am going to reach out to people who reach out to bloggers, and then maybe even try and do a blog tour, and I'm going to see if there's any local events that I can do, and I'm going to reach out to the local paper. So you're doing a few things, but they're all focused around that one goal of building awareness of your book. So everything ties in, and it's about setting up, then taking those things, and then making a plan. And I know, like, the work group is great because you guys have homework and you have weekly tasks and things like that. So you make a plan, and you make a realistic plan, and you set yourself some goals and some targets, and you use that to give yourself a plan of action to put your marketing into play.
Can I ask you a question with regard to your author platform? So you talked about website, you talked about where we have our author bios. What about an email list? Is that, I keep hearing it's really important, and how does that fit into some of the other things like creating a press kit or a media kit? What are your thoughts there?
So I think every author should have an email list. If you are, well, it depends. Okay, so sorry, I went large and back. It comes back to your goals. So let's say for us, we are releasing, we have a stack of children's books that we want to release, and we have a long-term plan to build up a significant amount of sales from those children's books. So the email list is really important to us. We want to build a community of fans that will buy our books and advocate to people they know for our books. And the best way to do that is an email list, because the visibility on social media is just tiny. It's so tiny, and they can change things that you don't own. You're only a guest on your own social media outlet. And at any point they can change the ball game for you, like Instagram just did. So I don't think they've rolled it out in the States yet, but in Australia they've removed likes. So the influencers in Australia are suddenly freaking out completely, because when you look at an Instagram post, it doesn't tell you how many people like the post. So their whole currency is gone. But yeah, so your visibility and your conversion on social media is really small. So social media is not the way. Like, the goal of social media is to get people off social media, essentially, because your goal is to get them, like, you can communicate with people, and it's great for that, but your goal with social media is to get them off there to buy your books, basically. So yeah, so an email list, if you have a long-term plan to sell a great number of books and build an income, then an email list is important. But if your goal is to have your book in all the bookstores, for example, and be sold through bookstores, then maybe an email list isn't as important. Your goal there is to build up awareness to the point where people are asking for your book, and you can distributors want to carry your book, and you can get into bookstores. If you want to run if you want your book business to be centered around school visits, and your goal is to build a big school visit business that sells your books, then potentially you may end up with a small email list of schools that use you, but it's not as important for you to have an email list. So I think with everything like that, it comes back to setting your goals and then fitting your activities under there. And that's why I talk about a marketing strategy, because it's really easy to do a bunch of activities, but if they don't tie into your greater plan, then they're not really going to get you anywhere.
Right.
Well, they'll get you somewhere, but it might not be where you want to get to. Sorry, that was really bad English.
That's fine.
So, yeah, does that make sense?
Yes, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, yes, important, depending on what you want to achieve. Yeah, and I think one thing to say is that it's okay. I know when we look at people that are doing really well as authors, and they are doing really well by doing A, B, C, D, it's easy to go, oh, I should be doing that. I should be doing that. But that might not be right for you. So it's looking at what's going to get to your goal, what's going to reach your ideal reader, and also what's going to work for your life. You know, it's no point for us doing a lot of school visits isn't something that we can do right now. So it's not on our radar at all. Whereas doing Amazon advertising is something we can do, and so that's something that we use. So, you know, so it's also about what's going to work for you, but then that comes back to your goals. So start with goals and work down. Yeah. So that's pretty much my quick sort of back to basics marketing approach. I think the why and your ideal reader avatar are going to be the things that will help everyone in terms of, stepping up their book marketing. So, does anyone have any questions that I can help with?
Do you have any tools, templates, or things that you can share with us as we start on trying to build things like our email list or our media kit, for example? Anything that you would recommend?
I don't. We have talked about creating a media kit template for authors. It's not one that we've done as yet. But I can certainly, once we do that, and I know Chris. So Chris's background is in journalism, and he is very keen to run media training for authors. So again, once we get that off the ground, we can test it out on you guys.
That would be great. We would love to be your guinea pigs for that.
Yes. But yeah, what I can do is I can summarize what I see as the steps. Most of the templates that I have are ones that I have when we started running our business, I did a business training program to help with my move from corporate to small business. And a lot of these learnings are things that they have taken us through. But there are a lot of free materials around. It's just about searching appropriately.
Yeah, it sounds like keeping it simple is important and being very focused and not overdoing and going too broad or too wide with any of our efforts, at least not immediately.
That's it. Start small. So actually someone that does really good, a really good introductory training that I would recommend is a guy called Tim Grahl. He often does a free webinar, and I think it's called Your First 1,000 Readers or Your First 1,000 Sales. And it's very much, and he focuses on basically, keeping your activities really focused and really simple, and just and not trying to do too much, and working on a long tail approach. And I think that's the other important thing to remember, that creating an author business so that you can sell your books is a long tail approach. It's not something that is, it's a bit like Pantene. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen. So yes, keep it simple, keep it focused, and know who you're talking to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Misty, did you have a question?
I don't have a question, but I just want to say how refreshing it is to hear that. I think that we just think we have to do it all, and it really does get overwhelming. And just to think, oh, you know what? I don't have to do that is really, you just really made my day. So thank you.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, and look, and that's it. I've been there. And my husband is the king of the good idea, and he's often saying to me, oh, we should do this. And I'm like, no, I'll put it on the list of ideas. So put it every time when you come up with an idea, put it on the list of ideas, and then go, okay, but is that going to fit in? Just keep coming back to your goals. Is that going to fit in with my goal? Is that going to get me where I need to go? Is it going to reach that reader? If it's not, put it on the list. Yeah, don't do it all. It's a bad idea.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have a question for Kate?
Actually, I do have a question. This is Misty again. How long have you been doing this?
So we started started the company in 2013. So that's, I really started working on it in 2016. I'm going to say, I'm like, when was my youngest son born? So I've been really working in our business for 3 years now. But I've been doing marketing for like 15 years. So you know, I spent 15 years doing this type of stuff. So don't feel like you should pick it up straight away. Don't feel like be an expert, you know. I mean, there's and there are things that I only have recently started learning how to do, like Facebook advertising and Amazon advertising and things like that. So things change, and everyone is learning. So yeah.
Yes, very nice.
Yeah, good point. Thank you, Kate.
All right. Okay, great. And look, if we go down to the last slide.
Okay.
And things that are covered. So if you do, we have some free indie author guides on our website. I do try, and as I learn how to do new things, I will often write a guide that talks through what I've done and what worked and what didn't work. Once your books are out, we're running author interviews to help out indie authors, and you can find us on all the socials. If you want to get our newsletter, we do an author newsletter and a reader newsletter. And do feel free to email me if you want to chat about anything, or if you want to, if you have questions about anything that I've talked about. I'm always happy to chat.
That's great.
Excellent.
We really appreciate your time. Last call for any questions, if you have anything you want to say before we let Kate go. And for those of you that are here looking for help for your regular drop-in session, I am going to stay and do the second half of the meeting. Will be Q&A and for our drop-in schedule for the week. All right. Thank you so much, Kate. Really appreciate your time. This has been really helpful. I'm sure we'll have some more questions and follow-up for you. So thank you for being willing to share your knowledge and your time with us.
Oh, no worries at all. And look, if you guys have more questions as well, you can certainly give them to April, and then I can come back to her and she can bring it back to one of your other meetings as well.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
No worries. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Kate.
No worries. Thanks. I'm going to.
All right. What did you guys think of the marketing topic? Is it making you think?
I thought it was great.
Yeah, making you think a little differently about what you need to do?
Well, as Misty pointed out, that took a little bit of pressure off. And I didn't have any questions because I'm not there yet, but the information was wonderful.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, I've been feeling so overwhelmed, and then I look at her list and I'm like, I'm already doing most of that. So I really feel a lot better.
Right.
And I do think maybe I'm not the only author that feels this way, that the marketing is the hardest part. We want to write. So,
right.
We are in the business side of this. And that's what my background is in business. So, and even still, I think that the marketing is a little overwhelming. So I think this was really nice.
Good. Awesome. Does anyone have any other topics that they'd like to focus on for the remainder of the meeting, or we can just jump in for a specific kind of round robin just to see where you are and if you have any issues? Misty, I know you and I are going to do some keyword searching and updating and analysis. So if it's okay with you and you want to let people tag along and watch us do that, I'm certainly fine with that.
I'm fine with that. If they want to learn that, that'd be great.
Yep. So before we get into that, though, I want to make sure everybody's got their own questions answered. So, Patty, how are things going for you? Is there anything specific that you needed help with?
No, not today.
It's exciting to see how quickly your illustrations are coming together. I cannot wait to see this book completely done.
Is this the Peaches
Yeah,
one?
me too.
No, you're thinking of Pat Weaver.
Okay.
So we have two Pats, or this is Patty versus Pat, and
okay.
she has a story that we've been working on with Harry, and with Patty taking a little bit of a vacation. She came back to a whole ton of stuff all done and waiting for her. So it's great, but it's also, I'm sure, a little overwhelming because we've got to go through and get some feedback and get ready to turn that back around. But Harry's really fast, really fast.
But they're both working with Harry,
Yes,
right?
he is.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So I see something that says Mama's phone. So which mama is on Mama's phone?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, that's Aneta. Sorry, I missed most of your meetings. I'm the one who wrote A Day in the Life of a Kid series with seasonal books.
Uh-huh.
So I completely got stuck advertising-wise as I discovered that books are ready, illustrated, published, but seasonals are the hardest to do. So
Right.
time being, I gave up a little bit on it. And finally, I came up with fifth book, which is definitely not seasonal. And I think I'm going to start with all the advertising and keywords, research, and everything from the fifth book. And then, I'll just chain back to everything else. So, yep. I'll keep you posted how the fifth book is coming along. And I hope, I'll be hoping for your little bit of advice and help with that.
Oh, absolutely. And are you thinking about going back and actually going through the author work group, some of the previous meetings we've had, or are you just kind of picking and choosing the topics that are most pertinent for you?
I'm just trying to juggle with a lot of activities, work, kids, and everything. So I think I'll be in and out, but
okay.
I'm always, admiring all the advices from all of you, which is great. Thank you.
Yeah, we are always welcome, and you can feel free to grab time on my calendar if you'd like to just do a one-on-one and do a little bit of a strategy session that kind of talks about what to do next and where you are, what are your goals, and be able to just have that sounding board. Sometimes it's just a matter of seeing it through somebody else's eyes, and we do a little mind map together that will help you focus your attention around what you've got going on and where your priorities lie. So feel free. I'm glad to do that, and there's no charge for your initial coaching session.
Thank you, April. You're always so supportive. Thanks so much for everything.
You're welcome.
I'll get back.
All right. Veronica, how are you doing? Do we still have Veronica? I think we might have lost her. All right. So, Misty, it looks like it's the topics here, just kind of jumping into keywords will be, I think, really helpful. And I think other people will, anybody who wants to stay and just kind of walk through the keywords with us, you're more than welcome to do that. And I'm going to just close out some of the things that I have open here so I can make a little bit more room for myself. Okay. Looks like I've clicked on some drawing thing. Now I have to stop it. There we go. Okay, so Misty, why don't you give folks a little bit of a background on your book so that we can kind of brainstorm a little bit with keywords. Unless you want to, I don't know if you want me to share something, but definitely want to start thinking about the types of, the type of information that the book covers so that we can think about keywords together.
Sure, and if anybody wants to help think of stuff, that would be great. So this is not my expertise. This is my first book. So it's called When You Feel Better. It's a poem about two friends that they're animals, a koala and a bunny. And the bunny's just trying to cheer the koala up and telling him all the adventures they're going to have when the koala feels better. So it's sort of a deluxe get well soon card
So it's like a book, like a get well book that you might see at the card when you're picking out get well cards or things like that, right?
Yep. Yeah, I just wanted it very colorful and fun and, sort of happy.
Yep. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to pull up a mind map, which, so it'll give us, as we kind of go through different things, it'll give us an opportunity to just store what we're finding in a quick and easy way. So this is Misty's keyword analysis. And let's think about some topics. So it's feeling better, like a get well. Anybody think of things that kind of go along with that theme. Surgery recovery.
Yeah, sort of you would type in Amazon if you were looking for a gift for someone that was sick, or in the hospital.
Gift for sick child. But it doesn't have to be, yours doesn't have to be a child, right?
It doesn't, nope.
I think the word recovery from illness, I'm just, just kind of brainstorming on some of the things we might want to look at. And then, so anybody, if anybody has any ideas, go ahead and call out. Sorry, Misty, go ahead.
I would probably put in get well soon gift or a recovery gift, yeah.
I wonder if the word hospital might be like something around hospital.
Yeah.
Something like that. Just trying to, I'm picturing in my head the walking up and down the aisle with all the cards, the get well cards.
Yeah.
So let's kind of hop over to Amazon for a second. And you'll probably saw me put, I put, you were talking about When You Feel Better was the name of your book. So look at things to help you feel better when sick. That's a long tail keyword. So a lot of times when you just start typing things in Amazon, it will surprise you with the types of things it brings up. And what I'm doing here now, that's a keyword. We're looking to see what are the type of things that come up. Well, this is bringing up a lot more than just books, right? So maybe we say books.
Well, what's that? Shop Feel Better Books for Kids right there. Oh, that's probably, it's sponsored.
Shop the Feel Better Books for Kids collection. Well, I mean, this looks like, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to also take a little thing on our mind map and put competitors. Okay, and so that I would consider, and I'm so glad you saw that, jump out at me. I don't know what's wrong with my eyes today. Look, a Feel Better book for little tears, a Feel Better book for little tempers, shop the Feel Better books for kids collection. So I want to put some of this, Feel Better books for kids collection. I think that is all part of the same series we just looked at. I'm going to close out some of this stuff that I'm not using. So it looks like, it doesn't always put book on the top. Get well gifts. Feel like a sloth, hang in there. Get well soon gift. Women, kids, men, teens. So
is there any way I can put that in my title, or it has to be the title of my book to put that in my title?
So you can put it in your title under certain circumstances. For example, with the ebook, I have found you can insert all kinds of things in your title, and they don't give you any trouble about it. When you start doing things for your hardcover or paperback, then that's when you start coming up with trouble.
Because I think I've just been thinking of my subtitle a little bit, and I might just put a get well soon gift, a simple title, but then I would like to expand that get well soon gift for women, men, teens, kids,
right,
if they let me.
Yeah. I think that one of the things that Kate was mentioning is that keywords in the description. There was a recent article she's going to forward me from Reedsy that said that that the keyword description is not being indexed the way that we expected. So
I think that was Ari that said that this morning, right?
Actually, well, I was just having the same conversation with
Kate.
Yeah. So she's going to forward me the information, the actual article that she had, because I hadn't heard that before. And yes, you're right. Lori did mention that as well this morning. So I'd like to see, but I know definitely that the title, the subtitle, excuse me, the title, the subtitle, and all of the keywords, which we get 7 spots to put keywords, those all get indexed. So there's, a good opportunity for us to use those titles. I had an author send me something for feedback, and the story was wonderful. I really loved it, but the title was like just a child's name, something story, and it was a girl's name. So I said, what I would recommend, I love your story. I don't have any commentary that will help you improve it because it's really good. But what I would do is look at the title and the subtitle and try to get keywords in there that really tell what the story is about, so that they can be, that when you're indexed, you'll end up with a lot of organic traffic instead of having to pay for traffic for your books, for your keywords. And that's really where you want to be. You may, at the beginning, when you first launch your book, you may have to put ads in and really teach Amazon the words that are applicable and relevant for your book, because there's a lot of things we cannot use, other authors' names, things like that in our own keywords. But my book may be exactly like such and such another author. I know that there is another author that I'm very surprised, like my book is always sold with his. So I have to put an ad, I have to do an advertisement on Amazon in order to get my books associated with, or my books and his books, his name, to come up. Because since I know people often buy them together, it made me think, okay, I'm gonna advertise and use his keywords, his book names, his name as an author, so that I can start making that connection. And with Amazon, if somebody types that other author's name and they see my ad and they click on it, now Amazon knows this is a relevant, it's relevant. People saw this ad for that keyword, it makes associations, and it starts realizing, okay, I need to index that book for that term. And then when people actually not just click but purchase it and it converts, now it gets even more points. And you know, with Amazon, it starts becoming a highly relevant keyword for your book. So when people start searching for that, they want to put things in front of the client, in front of their customer, that are going to be a good experience, and they're going to be highly relevant. So then your book starts to become, you get more of the organic searches, and you get indexed for that, and you're not having to fight for it all the time. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
So it takes time to get there. And the beginning of it is brainstorming like this. There's also tools that I use.
Is MindMeister a free tool?
There is a free version. I think I pay a little bit. I paid a little bit to get a little bit more where I could share and add team members to it. So you can feel free, to go into MindMeister and check it out for yourself. It does have a little bit more of a limited, like here, I can actually track tasks and things like that, manage tasks on these things. So I've connected it with with Taskmeister, and I do, I can share and invite people, so if you and I are collaborating, Misty, I can invite you to this with your email.
Awesome.
Remind me what your email is, and I'll throw it in.
MISTIMONY@Yahoo.
Okay, so now you will be able to share this map and collaborate with me. I can also, you also saw that I can share just the link. So I can say link, and I can copy it, and I can share the link with somebody. So it's more of a read only versus a collaboration, which is what I did at the top over here with you. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back in to close out of things that I don't want to be in. Okay, so when we think we come up, like this looks like a really good long tail keyword. I added the word books to see if that would make any difference here. Poems and drawings. Not really that much of a difference, but although I really do like this sponsored stuff here. Let's try to do, I'll show you one tool that is very inexpensive. It's called Kindle Spy. And I don't want you to feel like the tools that I show you, you're going to have to go run out and buy anything. Please don't do that until you've got an opportunity to kind of see what works, what doesn't, and how involved you want to be on keyword analysis. I am more than happy if you grab time on my calendar to do exactly this with you, or come early to a meeting or come late to a meeting, and we'll just do some brainstorming, and you'll pick up a lot of this through osmosis. And I do pay for these tools so that I can do it for myself and for others. So if you're interested in help, then please, don't feel like you have to go at it alone. So this is called KD Spy, and what it does is it looks at the page and the keyword that you just searched for. So books to help you feel better when sick. So actually, you know what? I'm going to go back and change that to things. I think it was said things to help you feel better when sick, because it looked like it was a better list of keywords, or a better list of items from that keyword. So this is a Chrome extension, by the way, and I think it was like $25. Now it's going to misbehave just because I said that. Feel Better book for little tears. Feel Better book. So I'm going to go back to this mind map, and I just want to make sure. Feeling better, get well. I'm just going to do feel better book. And then I'm also going to create a section here that says selected keywords. Like this is our brainstorming over here, but as we test out the keywords and we find those that we really want to keep for this, we're going to throw them over here. And we want to have 7 keywords, phrases, long tail. And when I say long tail, that just means it's long. It's a long phrase that will allow us to do better with our keyword ranking. So here is, going here, feel better book. All right, so this is the search term, feel better book. It shows you all the things that come up on that page. It shows you the price, the estimated monthly sales, the estimated monthly revenue. So for example, feel better fast and make it last. This is probably an adult book. It is $749 a month of these books, roughly $9,000 worth of revenue. It currently has 53 reviews, and it has a sales rank of 4677. So it gives you an opportunity to kind of see, are these some of your competitors? Where are they coming in? If you're looking at this particular keyword, you're seeing an average monthly revenue of $68,000 a month for this Feel Better book. Average price for the books is around this. So if you were looking to see how you should price yourself, average number of reviews. So if you've got 2 reviews, you're probably not going to do all that great with this list and this keyword because the average number of reviews is 1,200. I'm going to stop for a second and let you ask questions. I have some more things I want to show you with this tool that I also look at when I'm doing keyword analysis as well, but I want to just give you a second to ask any questions.
I don't have any.
Okay.
I'm just as far as the book goes, do you just go through and find which one is most relevant to mine? Or what would you do?
So
or do you look at the one that sells the best and try and copy them?
There's a little bit of both of those things going on. So one of the things is finding keywords that where you can see in the far right corner, there's popularity, potential, and competition. Ultimately, you want to find keywords that have a good amount of popularity, meaning there's a high number of search volume for that keyword, that has a good potential, so you want green across the board, or at least 2 greens and a yellow. Potential means, what's the revenue potential of this keyword? So this keyword, Feel Better Book, has really good potential for dollars, for revenue. But it's red for competition, meaning it's a very, there's a lot of competitors that are bidding on this keyword. So, and this is only 3 words, so I bet that there's other things that we could do that would use maybe these words and others to come up with a better long tail keyword that perhaps could meet, be better with this. So I would want to keep looking. But what this also does for me is it gives me some of the books like this, a Feel Better book for little tempers, for little warriors, for little tears. And then if you're marketing, Misty, also for adults, there might be, some of these that are geared towards adults, how to live longer, feel better, like to look at some of these and see whether or not they're good competitors, trying to get that good list of competitors. And, looking at their sales rank, you're probably not going to want to look at somebody who's, in the 100,000s or more. But this one here, 2,847, I would look at that and say, this is a Yoga Academy coloring book. And it's advertising on ways to feel better. yes, this is probably not exactly what you're doing, Misty, as far as your competitor directly, but it might be in the same realm. Do you know what I'm saying? So you could look at, you know, is the Yoga Anatomy coloring book, or is coloring book something that, you know, you want to target with a longer, feel better kind of, or Serenity coloring book, things like that. So it just kind of, you can look at some of these. If you find one that is a direct competitor, let's go back to the one that we were just looking at, the Feel Better book, which it seems like the All Better, let's see, 8,285 in books. So this is a pretty, it's pretty far, well up there. So this, would you say this is something that might be closer to a competitor for you?
Yeah.
Dog hurt his foot, sheep scratched her tummy. What will make it all better? It's not really a get well, but it is a, you know, somebody's sick and trying to make them better. But let's say if this, we decided this was going to be a book that is, you know, our ultimate competitor, and we want to see what types of things is this book getting indexed for. There is a tool, and you can download Helium 10 extension, which is a Chrome extension, for free. There is a free edition. It's a very limited, but it's probably just fine for what you need. And when you're starting to do your keywords, you can get like a 30-day trial, which gives you plenty of time to use some of the more advanced features, and then drop it if you don't need it. So I'm going to just go through, of the Helium 10 has like 20 different tools into it, and it can be confusing if you're not used to it. But this here is a reverse ASIN lookup. And what that means is I'm going to put this ASIN of the identifier from the book that we just looked at, and I'm going to click Get Keywords. And it is going to look in Amazon to find out what this book is indexed for. And it gives you an opportunity and an idea on, you know, what are some of these terms that maybe apply to you as well, and that you would want to list on your keywords as well. And I didn't realize that there was even the ability to do this. So this tool, I've found it to be really eye-opening and really good for keyword search. So here's the book. It's got a total of 433 keywords. Organically, they're indexed organically, meaning they do not have to pay for these keywords, for 381 keywords.
How do they get that many organic keywords?
A lot. So I believe, I can tell you what I believe, but look at all this. Organic rank 11111. But that's a lot of, you know, Kate Miller and All Better book. So these are, you know, their specific keywords. And then I'm just looking here, Better book. They're listed at number 7. But it gives you all of the things that this particular book has been indexed for. And as I mentioned to you earlier, when you first start listing your book, you're going to automatically be indexed for the keywords that are in your title, your subtitle, and your 7 keywords that you put there. So those you'll get indexed for. And this author name, maybe this author name is the name, that's her, these are her books. So, you know, she got organically indexed for it. Now, if she was running sponsored ads, you would see the sponsored rank here. If when she first started her book, she didn't have a lot of organic ranking, then she very likely paid for sponsored ads. She got the sponsored ranking and got enough time sponsored with those keywords that they became organic, because Amazon saw that they were good keywords for her book. So this is probably an Osborne book. And some of these other things here. I don't know that I see anything that jumps out at me that's really good for your book, though.
Right.
So it's not exactly a good fit, but it gave us an opportunity to kind of look and see what are the kinds of things that this book is pulling from. It shows the frequently bought with. It shows word cloud here, so that, you know, if you're looking for words that, you know, that are in the descriptions and that this particular book is indexed for. So there's a lot of things here that you can do. And with this,
so she's in the 8,000 ranking, and she has 0 sponsored keywords. She's not spending money on ads.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and what this will also show you is when you're looking at these keywords, you can see the search volume, and this is per month. So some of these keywords, you know, if she's got like Osborne books, if that's a big search, it's got, you know, 5,000 searches a month. If she's doing really well, she's number 10 on that. On that one phrase, to be number 10 is really good. So she's, you know, she's pulling up on those searches and probably getting a lot of traction from common search terms. And you can click on the columns. If you have a paid version, I can click here and I can order it. If you've got the free version, it says, sorry, you can't do that. But what you can do is you can export this to Excel, and then just manipulate it any way you want to order and filter things.
Okay.
So it's a cool tool, but a lot of this is trial and error. I mean, what I try to do is find the best-selling, those that are best-selling in the category that you're looking to rank in. And if they're at the top of your category that you know you're going to be a really good fit into, then you take like the top 4 or 5, throw all 4 or 5 of them here, it will go and get all the keywords for those 4 or 5, and then you can see, you know, you can order by different things, determine the amount of search volume, and determine how applicable it is to your specific book. Yours, mine, and ours. I mean, that might be not a bad thing to put there. It's got almost 11,000 searches a month. I think I'm gonna put that in on yours, just because it looks like a really cool search term as like a potential. I'm just gonna do potential term that we would want to like maybe do a little research on. Yours, mine, and ours. So let's go back to Amazon for a minute. And I want to do get well gifts for women. Get well soon gifts for women. That's a nice long tail, six words. And it has, you know, lots of different things, not just books. And we could also do get well soon books for women. So we could try a bunch of different things there. Look at these. If we go down and we take advantage of the activity that Amazon shows us, get well soon gifts for women after surgery, get well soon gifts for women funny. So you have lots of different things you could try. And I think, Misty, you probably don't want to be doing get well soon gifts for women cancer, right? Is that something that you would want would fit with that book, or would you be more looking for like after surgery?
I would say after surgery, the flowers, the art, the third, let's see.
Get well soon, gifts for women, flowers, art, surgery. Okay, so let's just throw some of these on here. Get well soon, gifts for women, and then we say after surgery, flowers, art. Okay.
Oh, so those are just subs. How would you enter those into your Amazon page?
So I would do get well gifts for women after surgery. And you can even do after surgery prime. But let's just put this and do a search. And if we want to rank for this keyword, let's just do, I want to take a look at what Kindle Spy says about it. So here we've got the full long tail keyword. I have a feeling this is going to be a good one. Average monthly revenue looks really good, right? $1,300 a month. I wouldn't mind that. Oh wow, now it's even going up higher.
Going up a little.
Yeah. As you can see, there's not a lot of magic. It's a lot of analysis, just thinking, poking around. So this tells me they're not all green, but so it's saying it's red for popularity, meaning not a lot of people search for it. However, we just saw that we saw the search volume and it was perfectly fine for us. I think it was like a couple thousand searches a month.
Where did you see that? I didn't notice that.
I thought it was in Cerebro. Get well gifts for women. So this is there's another tool here that's called Magnet, which is a keyword search. This is part of Helium. So if I did get well soon, get well book for women after surgery. Sorry, it was get well gift. My fingers don't want to work today. So this, you can type in any keyword here and it will come up with different variations. It'll tell you what the search volume is. So you can use this. And I'll also pull up, you probably have heard about KDP Rocket, which is now, it's now called Publisher Rocket from Dave Chesson. And that's another really good search tool that has like different features that some of it I really like. Others I think Helium 10 does better. I have access to all of them because I'm just a geek and I want to make sure that, whatever I can do to improve my chances and my analysis, I'm going to do that. So this is Get Well Gift for Women After Surgery. Total keywords, organic keyword search. Oh, look, so here we just searched for something and then here we see care package. So that's nice. That's something that if we were to add care package, that might be a good, another good keyword to search to see whether or not, because if people are sending their sick college students a care package or their sick older relative. Basket, care package, basket. I'm just going to add some of those little things here too. Care package, basket. I probably put that as over here. Just something to think about. But if we go back to here and find the specific term we were looking at, let's see. So what I like about this is similar to the KDP Rocket or Publisher Rocket. It does not just take what you put here, but it does a whole bunch of related things. Back to college gifts. Basket for a college student, I don't know how it comes up with all of this, to be honest with you. I think it looks for products that are indexed for the term that you are looking for, and I think it comes up with other terms that product is also indexed for. Here's a gift for women in hospital. Search volume 52. Are we going to use that one, Misty?
Nope.
So do you see where you could very easily make a mistake and put that into your keywords, but you've just wasted it. So
right.
You don't have to do that. Sloth get well. So one thing I would do is I would order it by search volume. And if you're using the free one, you can't do it here, but you can extract this into an Excel that you can manipulate.
Okay.
Healthy snacks for adults. I don't know if that's a good one for you or not.
So there's a Get Well gift for women, 8,450.
Yeah, Get Well gifts for women.
So the higher the magnet score, the better?
That's correct. So if you look at the magnet score and you hover over it, it says Magnet IQ score is an internal score we give to keywords to show the ratio between search volume and competition. The higher the score, it's a good ratio of lower competition to high search volume. The more competition there is, the lower the score. So that's not terrible.
Okay.
That's not bad. So Get Well gifts for women, we already have that marked on our list. So I might even go and on this put 8450. Get Well gifts.
So I have a question for you. Would I have to say Get Well gift for women, or if I put Get Well gift for women, does that make it a completely different search?
It makes it a different keyword altogether, a keyword phrase. So if you're putting it into one of your 7 keywords, so we have Get Well gifts for women, Get Well soon gifts for women. I think I might put, I'm wondering if you put this one, would this one also come up for you because you've got all the other words except one? I wish I knew the exact answer for that. I'm hoping that the article that Kate sends over sheds a little bit of light on it, because I still have some questions about how the back-end keywords are actually used, or are indexed, I should say.
Would you be able to put them into Helium and see if they have the same score? Or, I mean, is there a way to maybe check on your own?
Get Well soon. I just don't know if you're getting indexed for it. So the one thing that you know what I mean? Like, for example, if I pull up my book, Puppy Pickup Day, and I search my own listing to see, am I indexed for the terms that I want to be indexed for? How much is organic? How well am I doing moving from, like, if I'm in position 88 and now, you know, it's 2 weeks later and now I'm up at 60 and then 30 and then 20. So you can kind of track your progress. What I would do is I would, you know, put this longer one here and see whether or not you're indexed for the term Get Well gifts for women. And you can do that. There's, there is in this range of tools, there's something called Index Checker. And so we would put the keyword phrases that we want to be indexed for. Get Well soon gift for women after surgery. Get Well gifts for women. Get Well soon gifts for women. These are all separate keywords, keyword phrases. And if you're doing a pay-per-click campaign, you want to try to, you know, expand on these things and maybe look for words that might be misspelled. And this thing actually has a misspellinator. So it can, if you put your keywords, it'll tell you what common misspellings that you have that you can put there too. So there's a lot of things that you can do with this tool. But what we would do here, I could put my ASIN or any ASIN and see if they were actually indexed for this. Let me see if...
So some of these things we won't be able to figure out until after the book is actually published.
Well, you won't know if you're indexed for it, but you will know that you want to be indexed for it, right? You want to find out what those really good terms are. So here I just grabbed the ASIN of the very first thing we looked at. So now, remove duplicates. So now I'm going to click. So if you have like 1,000 keywords here, you can still do that, but you just basically put any keyword that you want to check if you're indexed for, or if a competitor is indexed for, and then you can check your keywords. That's okay, we know they're long. So now look what it tells us. It tells us that the item that we just checked has a traditional index, which is basically means organic. A field ASIN index, I'd have to look and see what that means. And then is it a storefront index? Like if they have a store and they're indexed for that term, it will include a check mark there. So this cumulative just says if they're indexed in any of these, then they're indexed for that term. So that person is indexed for all 3 of these, or this product here is indexed for all 3 of those. So once you are live, you might want to put your ASIN here and see, did it organically pull you up based on your keywords? If you put those keywords in your 7 keywords that you have, that you're allowed, you may be already indexed for them. Or you could put them into a PPC ad and then help it to understand that you need to be indexed and that you deserve to be indexed for those keywords because they're applicable to your product.
Does Helium 10 free version offer the index checker?
Yes, it just limits.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll say you're only allowed to use it once a day or 5 searches a day. But I mean, I found it to be not so limiting that it hindered me. And they do have a like I said, a 30-day trial or something like that you can get the full version for 30 days and then just go down to the free version if you don't want to do anything more with it.
Mm-hmm.
It is for geeks, and if you're not a geek, a computer geek, and you need help, let me know. I don't have a problem with that. There's a lot of different things here, lots of different little tools, but the main 2 is Cerebro, which is basically checking. It's the reverse ASIN lookup, the index checker, and the keyword tracker. Those are the 3 that are the most you're going to see the most often.
Okay.
You'll use as an author. There's also what I'll do. Let's do this. Let's get well gifts. Get well soon gifts. I'm going to do this. Get well soon gifts. But I'm going to put this into another tool. I hope it's not overwhelming. I want to give you a taste of what some of these other tools will do. KDP Rocket. And if you're somebody that just says, I don't even want to do this, I just want somebody to do it for me, I do have that service as well, just so that you know, if you really want somebody to just do it for you. So this is, now you can see it says Publisher Rocket, and the keyword search, the competition analyzer. If you're looking for categories, this is a really good place to go for category searching.
Which I think we need to do, right?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Let's just start with keywords. So I'm just going to put get well soon gifts, and I'm going to change. I don't want to upgrade right now. I'm going to change it to book. You have a choice between book or ebook, and I'm just going to click to have it go and find different variations of get well soon gifts. So you see, it does exactly the same type of thing that the keywords tool in Helium did. What I like about Helium better is that this here, it does get well soon gifts for men, for kids, for women, for boys. Like, this is great, but the Helium one will find other related things that don't have the same words in them.
Right.
So you get a little more flexibility. And whoops, I think it's trying to, sorry about that. It's trying to upgrade. And I'll just show you really quickly with this tool. Now, one thing I like about this tool, Dave Chesson, number one, is by far one of my favorite guys to follow. He has a great podcast on publishing. He has a free Amazon PPC course. That's a self-paced course. And you will not even believe that it's free because it's so jam-packed with great information. If you're learning to get familiar, you'll definitely want to take his course. And I'll put the link in today's meeting so that everybody has a chance to go and check it out. But Dave Chesson is, he's an awesome, he has, awesome tools, all kinds of great articles, podcasts, and this thing is constantly improving. And it also does not cost per month. I don't know how much longer it will be, one-time fee, and you get forever upgrades, but that's what it is right now. So I want to say it's, I don't know, $100, maybe a little more than $100, but it's a one-time fee that you pay, and then you never have to pay for anything additional, even upgrades. They just come free. So you can see here, get well soon gifts. If you click on the analysis button, it doesn't automatically analyze. I think it's just because it would be crazy traffic to try to work from. So if you see something that's interesting, you just go ahead and click on analyze, and you see here the number of competitors, average monthly earnings. Oh, look at this, get well soon gifts broken leg. 386 average earnings a month, but estimated search volume is less than 100. So while this looks really good, and there's some value there, I don't understand how it could possibly have less than 100 searches a month on Amazon. But you want to have a good kind of a balance. Here you'll see estimated searches per month on this one is 890, so that's good. Has a lot of competitors though. So because it's only 4 words and it's very highly, there's a lot of competition, the competitive score is higher. And for this tool, you can see if we hover over it, the competitive score is 69, but the best competitive score is, the lower it is, the better it is. So this one's not the greatest. So this is get well soon gifts broken leg. I would have thought that was really interesting until I saw less than 100 searches. So and I have seen the tools say different things, where Helium might say one thing and this tool says another. So I don't know exactly where they differ in their methodology, but there are differences. This is cool. Number of competitors, 1. Average monthly earnings, 245. Estimated Amazon searches, 799.
Huh.
And see, this is another thing I don't understand. Sometimes I run into this. Well, why is it ranked 52? If it's got high search, decent earnings. I mean, I don't think that's high, but it's only got 1 competitor. I don't understand why this tool would rank it a 52. So.
And why the competitive score of the Get Well Soon gift me is 0?
That just means that it's not ranking it for some reason.
Okay.
Maybe the volume is so low with searches the average monthly earnings is really poor. So it's sometimes you'll see a 0 where it probably has like a fraction under 1. So I think it just does that. Get well soon, gifts for men. So you kind of go through, and sometimes this will give you ideas. You can definitely overanalyze, and there is such thing as paralysis analysis. You know, you get so busy looking at all the different options, and you can put every single thing in here into a pay-per-click campaign and pay a fortune for search terms. You can go crazy. So it is about striking a balance, and there are different trains of thought. I like the idea of finding 7 really strong keywords for my 7 keyword list, and then get well soon, gift surgery. Let me see that. And then I also like the idea of, well, 53 isn't the best as far as a competitive score, and it does have a lot of competitors, but it still is it's a decent, I just want to see something. So every once in a while I get, you know, I try to compare the two and see what's going on. So here we've got this, and we already looked, I think we already looked at Kindle Spy. And this is the one it showed us was, I think, like red, yellow, yellow. So it's not the greatest. It has some potential. It's yellow for competition because there is a lot of good competition with this one. So if you end up putting it in a pay-per-click campaign, you end up paying a lot more for it. So it's a process of digging. You know, you really have to dig and experiment and find things, and sometimes just get lucky. But I'm going to try to pull up something. I had a keyword analysis one. I've been helping Bobby Hinman with her keywords and managing her campaign for her Best Fairy books. And I did a lot of work on keywords for her. And Kate, what I started putting together is screenshots from a lot of the different tools and identifying the best possible keywords. Let me try to think of where I put it. I was hoping it would be in just a recent document. Let's see. Analysis. Yeah, here it goes. Keyword analysis. So when I started going through those things that looked green, green, green. So it does happen, guys. You can find keywords that will surprise you. This is one I found from a competitor that was, and you're welcome to use it if you guys want to, go ahead. You'll see a lot of books nowadays are using the words confident, brave, beautiful. And I think it's a title of one of the competitors that has a really big market share for Bobby in a category that she ranks in. So when I did this and I came up, I just put confident, brave, beautiful. I was analyzing the competitor, and you can see I am confident, brave, and beautiful, a coloring book. That's the competitor I was analyzing. So,
I can't see your screen anymore. I don't know if anybody else can.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for speaking up. Let me, so sorry, I'm over here.
Wait.
Can you see now, or do I need to share separately?
I can see it.
Oh, you can see now? You know what it is? I have 2 monitors and I had it on the other monitor. My apologies. So here is, when I go through and I do all of my analysis and I find something like this where it's green, 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 that's
oh, wow.
that's like gold to me, right? Confident, brave, beautiful. And I see all of these competitors, they're making a ton of money, average monthly revenue, $66.72. Average price for the books, like these are coloring books and different activity books for girls. So, and for some reason, Bobby's best fairy books get lumped into these, and there's a lot of competition with them. So there's a lot of money in this keyword. And some of them are like this one, the number one is ranked 59 of all books. So when you want to put in an ASIN and see what it's being indexed for, what a great book to use, right? Because it's number 58. It's doing something really, really, really well. And this is just a freebie, just worth the price of admission today, just for hanging out with me. Use it, grab it, and I'll even put it in your mind map so you can have it. Confident, brave, beautiful. I'm going to put it here. I mean, I assume, Misty, that you would want to use that, but if it doesn't really fit your book, then you don't have to. But it's a golden keyword.
Why would you use it if it wasn't relative?
So right now, the books that are coming up for it are coloring books, activity books, fairy books, unicorn books. So when you think about all of those, does your book fit in with that? Does it mesh well? Or are people, here's another way of looking at it. People that like these kind of books, would they appreciate your book? For example, I think at one point Jay shared that people who like dinosaur books like his rock book, his Ricky the Rock and rock books, rock and mineral books, because they're boy things, and for some reason there's just some synergy there. So it doesn't necessarily mean it has to fit in. It's not, if it's not a dinosaur book. Sometimes you don't even realize dinosaurs and fairies will go together. Who knows? But as you start to analyze, you'll start to see some synergies that you maybe will really surprise you.
Okay.
And what's the worst thing that can happen? It says it's a great keyword, so you get lots and lots of impressions, and then it proves not to be relative, and then you can turn it off. Or you can try to make it more relative by changing, more relevant by changing keywords and tweaking your listing a little more.
Okay.
Here's another
one.
Well,
I am just a companion coloring book, and I think it would be really good for that.
Yeah. So here's another one I did, Disney Princess books for girls 3 to 5. So this, again, I just was going into categories that Bobby's books lived and said, what kind of books are here? And there's princesses, there's unicorns, there's all kinds of different things. And I found this keyword as one of the competitors had this. So I put it up here and realized, wow, this has got a good popularity, good potential. And there might be a little bit more competition than we'd like, but it's still a really good keyword phrase. Mm-hmm. So I'm using that. Here's another one, slightly different. Instead of girls 3 to 5, it's girls 4 to 8. So that's a different keyword altogether. Okay. This one's kind of cool too, because I love elephant and piggy books, and
right.
This keyword has a ton of searches, which I was really surprised. And
is that the whole keyword, elephant and piggy, the complete collection 25 box set?
Yes.
And people really type that in?
Well, you realize what we did at the beginning when we were typing in, and then all of a sudden these big long keywords come up, they select it,
Yeah.
So they're not having to type. But if I type elephant and piggy, collection or Elephant and Piggy anything, it's just going to come up with all these suggestions, and there's a lot of search volume for this one. So again, I put it there because it hits the same target age group. Same thing with the activity book. Again, you get a couple of greens and a yellow, then that's good. So you can see, I mean, I've been doing a lot of research. Fairy book for girls 4 to 8. Yes, there's a couple of yellows because popularity, it's not searched as often as maybe some that are green. And maybe it has a little more competition, but what can we expect? It's a fairy book for girls. So it's certainly one I want to see Bobby's book get indexed for. And same thing with best fairy book for girls. Bobby's book series is called Best Fairy Books. So I wanted to make sure that we were able to use that. And even though there's a little bit more competition, I still want her to be indexed for that. So I'm able to see some of the other books that are indexed for this term, where they live, as far as categories. You can click in and you can delve into the different categories.
Can you go back?
Yep. You want this one?
Yeah, right there. Do you see the second book down, Seeds and Trees?
Yep.
Seeds and Trees. So we know the author to that book.
Yep.
Does that mean that he is making $45,000 a month on that book?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, he posted a while, not like last week, and said he hardly spends any money on advertising.
Because he's getting the organic search. And we could very easily put his book in, which I have done. I do have a list of all of the keywords for that book because it is so popular and because it's doing so well organically. So I do have all of those as well. Never Girls book collection, that's a fairy thing too. It's not the greatest, but it was one that I wanted to save the information for. Flower fairies. So it's, as you can see, there's just a lot of different things here. One of the things that also you may not even realize is possible, what I really like with this one, this tool here, I'm going to go back to Kindle Spy for a minute. I have rank tracking turned on. Here's Puppy Pickup Day. Here's Seeds and Trees. So I want to look at the results. I've got 74 days tracking his book to see how it ranks. And it shows, all you have to do is start a rank track, and then it will mark every single day, so you can kind of see the trends of other books that are competitors or that are doing really well, and just see how your book is doing as well.
Can you switch over to the hardcover, or can?
Yep.
So this has a little bit different monthly revenue. Why would you think that is?
So it's got estimated monthly revenue here. So, I mean, you know what? Sometimes it's hard to tell the differences, and it's not like these different tools are going to open up and tell you what their secret sauce is either. I know that when there were questions asked about, you know, how come in one place it might show a monthly revenue of this and in another place it's something else. And what they were saying is it depends on how often that specific area is refreshed. You can turn, you know, this might be refreshed once a month. Other terms might be, or other places we're looking might be refreshed more often or less often. So there's a lot of, you know, they're not going to tell you the ins and outs of why all of this is slightly different, but it's the best information we have. And sometimes I just, when I see things like that, I go, okay, let me go see what this other tool says. Like what does Helium-10 say that the revenue is? Because it's probably going to match one of those.
Okay.
You know? So yeah, if I wanted to track something new, I would just, let's see, laughter really is the best medicine. I'm going to go here and I'm going to see this T for track. And I'm going to click here to track sales rank. And so now, from now forward, it's going to track that book for me. And so as the days go on, the months go on, I can see how things move and change. Because sometimes, you know, all of a sudden my rank will tank, or one of Bobby's books will go down or way up. And I'll be like, is this just an average trend for that all books in that category are facing, or just like a downtime because of the season? So having some things that you're also tracking for competitors is really helpful. And I don't know too many tools that'll allow you to kind of get a peek inside of your competitors and trends that are happening within the book industry. I'm going to take a break here and stop talking. Are you guys really overwhelmed?
I need
Overwhelmed and amazed.
Yeah. I'm wondering if you could recommend one tool to start off with. Would it be Publisher Rocket? And maybe even the free version of Helium 10, or?
Yes. That's exactly what I would recommend. If I could only, well, see, and the Kindle Spy is a really cool tool. I really like it. And like I said, I think it was $25. So I think it's a no-brainer that even just being able to track that little bit makes it really cool. And the red light, green light, yellow light thing, I really like that. Because
that was from Kindle Spy?
Yeah, that was Kindle Spy. KD Spy V5. And like I said, it's not expensive. It's a one-time thing. You don't have to pay monthly for it. So I like that. I love that Publisher Rocket has categories that you can really dig deep into. And it also is a one-time fee that you'll definitely get your money's worth, and you won't have to pay over and over again. And then I would just use the free Helium tool for now. You know, when you're getting ready to list, if you want to like really dig in, do the trial and see how you like it. Yeah. And that way. I might wait
for a couple of books out for that, but
yeah,
if you have an affiliate link, I would love to buy through that.
Yes, I do actually. I do for all of these tools. Thank you for saying that. I will. I'll make that available. I always forget. When I really love a tool, I sign up and I say, okay, I'm going to be an affiliate. I'll put this out there, and I always forget. But yeah, it's definitely worthwhile. And as I mentioned, I'm here to help. There's still a lot of work to do, Misty, for your keywords. And I know that we are, let's see, how are we doing for time? It's 10 o'clock. So actually, wow, we're at the top of the hour. I'm at the point where we probably need to take a break or have you guys like ask some more questions and I can dig into some other stuff. But I am glad to sit with you again tomorrow, Misty, and really dig in further, because I really want to get those 7 keywords for you. And I know that we already started doing this once before, and I think we have maybe 3 or 4 of them already, right?
I had taken notes because we had sat down before, and I can't find it anywhere.
Oh, okay. So I'm glad I started doing this then. And, you know, if I have an opportunity and just want to just jump in and do a little bit more keyword, keyword checking, I might check, because I'm doing a lot of this for Bobby already. So if I'm in there looking for things and I see something that pops out at me and I say, oh, that would be good for a good category or a good keyword for so-and-so's book, then I usually write it down and put it aside so I can make sure to pass the information along. So so I will do that. And like I said, we should get together and make sure that when your book is ready to go, you already know what your keywords are. The other thing I would recommend is that you start writing your description so that you're not doing it all at the last minute. And if you need somebody that does good copywriting, I did find somebody on Fiverr, and I shared that link in in the advanced Facebook group, so I'm happy to share that link as well. Again, yeah, she does a really good job, and she gives you like 3 different options. And I think I paid, I don't know, $25 or $30 to have her go through 6 different things, mine and Bobby's, and she only charged me like $35, so I gave her a nice big tip. But
does she read your book and kind of know what it's about, or does she just go off of what you've already written?
So I sent her my book. I told her it's only a small picture book, so I wanted her to read it first, and then go ahead and give me a short description, a blurb, and then a longer description. So she does that like 3 for the price of, for each title. So I did all my coloring books, and I had I think 2 of Bobby's books, because I wanted to test some of my I wanted to test some ads for Bobby on a couple of key books that we were starting with. So I asked her to do Bobby's as well. And that's it. I mean, of course, there's others out there that do copywriting as well. I just happened to find this girl, and I really like what she did, although she kind of rushed through the last delivery of mine, and I saw some grammatical things, and I said, take more time, extend it if you need to, so that we can make sure that it's really solidified and it's really good copy without any grammatical errors or anything like that. So I was surprised to see that. I think she was just rushing. So anyway, and if you find others that are really good with copywriting, spread the news, and that way we can all benefit from good referrals, because it's hard to find good people out there. So I try to share whenever I do find one. I try to share and let other people know.
I know Lori Wright does it. You can hire her to do it.
She does? I didn't think she.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's $85, and she gives you 2 ad copy options. She gives you an author bio and 2 Amazon descriptions, I believe. She doesn't do anything with keywords for that, and I believe it's because she said that it doesn't get indexed anyway. But I think she just writes it from scratch. I don't know that you have to give her something to go up from. So
okay. One other area that I'm trying to get more information about is the A+ pages. I don't know if you guys know what I mean. I'm just going to pull up. I'll pull up Bobby's book, because I just added some A+ pages to hers.
So am I right that you can't have an A+ page if you don't have Amazon Advantage?
I think that's correct. Although I thought that there was one other way, and I now I have to go back and really take a look at it to see if there was. I want to say that there was an opportunity, and I wanted to test this with somebody. So if you want to be my guinea pig, since your book is coming soon, that I believe that I am allowed to list your book, and on your behalf, add some ads to it that would normally only be available through Advantage, and also add A+ pages. So, generally that's not, you can't do it, but I can request to be kind of an agency for someone else and run ads and do these A+ pages.
Okay. I think we had discussed that before, now that I'm remembering.
Yeah. Let's see. Pickle Fairy. Oh, I only put it on.
A+. What are A+ pages?
So I'm sorry. I'm showing you right now. I would even though, like, I'm looking at this page here. Oh, wrong one. Let me see. Not fairy. I think a couple of the books got pulled. that I had set up. Let me just see if I can get this to come up. If not, I'll jump onto mine. So when you're in the page, sheesh. All right, when you're on your page, you've got your description, and at the bottom of you've got your it'll tell you like frequently bought together, customers who viewed this item also viewed these other books. You'll see sponsored products related to this item, and then I'm sorry, I'm just going to pull up mine. Amazon is giving me a hard time with these two books for Bobby because it doesn't like the fact that she has, the name of her series is Best Fairy Books. So it says that I'm trying to claim, I have an unsubstantiated claim that hers is the best fairy book. So so because of that, it unpublished the A+ pages that I have for those two books, which is a real pain. But so here's my puppy pickup day. So when you are on a PC and you are coming to the top of the page, you're going to see the different formats. You're going to see the description. And here I've got my, I could do better based on what we heard from Lori this morning. I could do better with this and make it not so many blocks of text so that it's a little bit more readable. And then it says, you see the customers who viewed this and sponsored items related to this. But then there's this from the publisher page. And you can only have it if this, so this is the A+ page. It's kind of like a little web page, and you can drag and drop different modules. So this was one module here where I have 4 different graphics, and if you hover over it, it shows different things. And then I add this module in, which shows like different things that they can also purchase for Puppy Pickup Day related products. And then I added this little module that shows a little bit more about me. And at first, when I set up this A+ page, I was like, what good is it? Who the heck is going to go all the way down to find this stuff? But when I analyze my audience on Facebook or on Amazon store, what I find is 80% of my audience comes to my book pages from a phone. So if you're searching on this phone, guess what comes up first? When I go to my product page from a cell phone, it goes right to from the publisher page first. So all this really beautiful layout and all these different modules, you see all that first, and then it jumps to the top of the description. So I thought it was really a good idea to actually use that when I realized that if you're accessing it from a phone, which is, like I said, 80% of my audience on Facebook uses cell phones to access it. So, and a very similar, maybe not quite as high for Amazon. So this is the type of additional thing that you can do. The other thing I try to do with listings is I have 9 images here. By adding additional images like this, people don't have to go and look inside. So they say that, having extra images, even if it's lifestyle images like a child reading your book, even if you have the look inside feature, this is really convenient for them, and it does improve, the click-through and buy rate, supposedly. I'm still analyzing a lot of the changes I made to see what's going on with it and, where am I doing better. I still have a ways to go on mine because I turned it over to a company that does you give them a certain dollar amount and they'll manage your ads for you. And it was really, for me, it was an experiment. Does somebody else doing my ads are they going to do better? Are they going to make my book sell more? And what can I learn from that company that's going to do it? So I ended up signing with a company, having weekly meetings with them, and my ranking went down, 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 down. So I was actually doing a lot better myself before I turned over the ads to this other company. And I had them do it for like 7 weeks, 6 or 7 weeks. So now my ranking is like really tanked. Now I have to try to get it back up. So it's testing all my knowledge for sure. But it was a good experiment to see if it was me not knowing enough about how to get the sales up, or was it something that a professional could have done better. So I think I still have a ways to go with my own listing, but it's I'm a geek, so I will continue to play with it and play with it with others and work with Bobby's and whoever else needs help with keyword search to see if we can't start getting things really moving forward for everyone. So yeah, this is the other author that always sells with my books. It's the same author, Matthew Paul Turner. I never would have known, but all of his books are like frequently bought with my book. It's all Christian books. So you never know what you're going to find when you start doing analysis. So
your
anyway,
evaluation result is really high.
What's that?
Your evaluation result is really high.
Yeah, what this is a part of the tool that I was telling you about, the Helium 10.
Right.
It takes a look at different things. I'll show you. So when you have the plugin on your Amazon page, you'll see things here that you won't see on yours. For example, this graph. That's because I have that plugin. The revenue calculator, the ASIN. It shows like you don't have to dig into the listing to see where you're ranking. So all this is a result of just having that tool, the Helium tool, as a plugin to my Chrome. And one of the things that it does is it looks at your listing and it ranks certain things. For example, number of product images. It wants to see 7 or more. Main image background. It wants to see the image on a white background. As you know, it says that sells better. It likes to see certain dimensions for your images. The title, it says my title's too short. And if you look at that title, that's a pretty long title. So I think, the makers of this tool are used to doing keyword stuffing and, like you were saying, Misty, adding, you know, for ages, this or that, for women, for men, that kind of keyword stuffing in the title, which gets indexed. So, it can be really helpful. It also likes to see bullets. I don't have any bullets, so it wants to see a few bullets there. And then character count. So it ranks you as, and so when I'm looking at or analyzing Bobby's or looking at the description for others, I'm trying to utilize some of these tools also to see what more I can suggest might be a good way of improving the listing.
Okay.
Do you have your what do you call it, KDP set up already? Is that something that you're going to need to do?
I have a login and a book, like, I don't know what you call it. You can click on it and add the keywords right now, but I don't have the book uploaded. Okay.
But still, at least you've got something started. So that's a good thing. And what about how are you doing with your author platform with getting email addresses and things like that?
I've sort of been working on it. I have I don't have very many. I have 40 is all. So
that's not that great. So
nope.
Definitely, if you want to jumpstart that, we could get a few of the authors in this group together to go in on a giveaway, and I can help you guys figure out how to run the giveaway. I'll even help manage it. There's a free tool you can use called King Sumo, and it is it's an awesome tool. As a matter of fact, I think I can show you it in action because we currently have a Christmas in July going on right now. It's a Christmas in July giveaway. So go ahead and check it out and enter. But here is just the graphic. We've got a whole bunch of authors together who have Christmas books, and Alma, I'm trying to remember her last name.
Alan.
Yeah, Alma Hammond, who did Zeta, the Poinsettia. She and I had a coaching session, and I recommended to her that Christmas in July would be a really good idea for her to get together with some other authors and get some email addresses. So we put everything into the King Sumo tool, and you can see here, as soon as you click on it, it'll ask you to log in. I've already logged in once before, but then you get additional. We set this up so if you share on Facebook, you get an additional entry. If you share on Twitter, so you can kind of set up anything that you want to give people extra. For example, if once they log in, you're going to get their email address, but what if you also want to give them, you want them to like your Facebook page and follow you on Instagram, then you can add those tasks and they can get additional entries into the thing and look how easy it is. I'm going to share it on Twitter right now. So I click, I tweet, and I'm right back here. See how easy it makes it for people to do things? I'm going to click share on Facebook. So I'm getting these entries.
So I did the King Sumo when I did my contest to have your pet drawn in my book, right?
Yeah.
But if you're giving away books or ebooks and you do a King Sumo, is there some automatic tool where once they enter their email address, they get emailed the books?
So what I would do is I would just, what you'll have to do is go in and export the email addresses when you're done. And then you've got the email addresses in your email software, and then you put it, and then you can just send them the link.
Okay.
So it's not, as seamless as it could be for that. But look how easy it is. So I'm going to go like a sailor's wife. Everything I want to click on. And so I think this particular giveaway is crazy because there's so many authors that who wants to split email addresses between 15 authors, right? That's kind of crazy. What I would do, or what I would say is the best, so I already liked it. What I would do as a best practice is find 3 people, 2 in yourself or 3 in yourself, and go in on a giveaway. You don't have to have your book. You can choose another book, go to the top of your category, bestsellers in your category, so that people are getting books that are similar to what you would be writing. So you're getting, interested people that are into the types of books in your category, in your niche. Then you can also give away Amazon gift card. The #1 best giveaway I've ever seen, they were giving away Amazon Kindle Fire, and they loaded it with some of their books. So for me, that was an adult like fantasy authors that got together, and a few of them, and they pitched in on the giveaway. If I were going to do it, and I've wanted to do this, so if anybody wants to team up, let me know. I would get one of the Kindle or the Amazon tablets that's for kids, the kids version, and have kids books loaded on it. So the kids books from our category or whatever, and maybe and that's usually, say it's like, I don't know, it's $100. I think it's even less than that. It's like $79 for the thing. So if you split that between 4 people, that's not terrible, right?
Right.
And you end up, the last time they gave away the Kindle Fire, 1,300, one individual got 1,300 emails. Another one in a different group it was not children's, it was, adult fantasy writers that teamed up in another group that I'm in. And they ended up with, I think, 5,200 emails just from that.
Wow.
So
wow.
It's well worth it to think about jump-starting your email list with something like that.
So in your Christmas in July giveaway, you guys have to divvy up the email addresses that you get? Well,
normally when you're sharing, you would divvy them up. But because of that fact that they ended up with 15, I recommended that one person administer the list and make it available for people to do a promo to that list. And that way there's a gatekeeper so that they know there's not, 10 emails going out in 1 week. They could put them together and do a newsletter for those 10 people that want to get something out, especially around Christmas.
Have you ended up getting a lot of emails doing that?
I think so far, I think we're up around 450 or something like that so far. And there's still another week left.
Okay.
So it's not bad. Like I said, I would just do it, with a couple of other people, maybe four. I wouldn't go more than 4. Because that way, if you've got 1,000 people, 1,000 emails, and there's only 3 people, then you're not going to inundate them with so many emails. Even if you all get the same email list, you'll just have to, kind of agree, hey, let's not all slam them with dozens of emails so that they get upset about the fact that they joined our giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to, trust the people that you're with, knowing that, and then you can share the whole list with them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So anyway.
I would love to do a giveaway if anybody's interested, or team up with somebody. I don't know.
Yep, I would love to as well.
Okay.
I'm game. I'd like to try it with the tablet I'm talking about on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's a kids,
I would do that.
Kids tablet, right? Because then if anybody that enters has a child who is going to read, play games, and do things on that and access our books. So to me, that's I think a much more compelling entry or giveaway than just books. I don't know.
Right.
I feel like it a little bit.
I'd like to do it too but my books are a little different than everybody else's. But
what kind of books? What kind of books do you have, Barbara?
Oh, well, they're about animals.
Okay.
They've got trumpeter swans and the Quincy the quail.
Oh yeah, I think they're fine. Mine is about dogs, so I think
about a bunny.
yeah. So I think we're good. I think there's some synergy there, and So we've got 3 people, and I'm sure that others that are watching this as a replay that want to do it themselves, just post in the message board or just ping some of your fellow folks, and we can create a bunch of different teams that can start collecting email addresses. You definitely don't want to go live, Misty, with 40 emails. Definitely not.
So how many emails do I need to go live?
Well, you're going to go live no matter what, right? But what I have heard, I think Lisa Furlan say, is if you have 100 engaged people, family, friends, people that really care about your book and supporting you, then you can have a successful launch. If it's less than that, it's not going to be very easy. So I will tell you that I'll share my list with you, because anybody in this group that's launching, I do my newsletters, and I'll do posts for social media, and I will make sure to share whenever you guys are launching. So, you know, you'll have some support from my email list as well. It's not as strong as support from people that are your fans, though.
Right. I have, I mean, I don't know that they're, I know that having your followers on Facebook aren't as great, but I have probably 180 really good, engaged friends and family on my Facebook author page. I have more than that, but the engaged people, I would say I have about that many. So I know email is more important because you own that, but
right.
I'll get there.
And it's really easy to set up a landing page and have people entering their email and capture that so that you have it. It's
right.
very, very, very easy.
I was going to talk to you about my webpage. Is that still a service you're willing to offer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'll talk to you more about that. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, let's follow up and let me know what times you're available tomorrow, and we can grab a slot and we'll talk about finishing up your keyword analysis and whatever you're looking for the web page.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys. I think I'm going to call it quits before my throat starts to go dry from all the talking. I'm doing way too much talking. But
I'd like to set up a meeting too.
Absolutely.
So I'll go in and do that.
Absolutely. Somebody was telling me that the code isn't working if you've already set up a code with me once before. Have we done a one-on-one before, Barbara?
Yes, we've done a one-on-one.
Okay. So if I'm going to go in and try to fix the code, but it was telling people that they had already used it once before, and so they couldn't use it again. I thought I had fixed that to make it unlimited because I wanted my user group to be able, my work group to be able to just schedule me whenever they needed help. So I'm going to fix that. But if it tells you you can't use it for any reason, just send me a quick message on Facebook, and we'll sync up and we'll find a time slot that works for us.
Okay. Thank you, April.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful night. I will send the replay out. This is going to be a long one. I don't know who's going to hang out till the end, but if anybody's watching this on the replay and you're still here, you're going to have to send me a message, because I need to give you something a little special just for sitting through this whole thing. And thank you, ladies. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, April.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.